Good evening, welcome, bienvenue. My name is Kendall Perkins, and I will be your child's teacher for French 1, 2, or 3 this year. In addition to hybrid classes this year, I have 2 remote classes. I have a class of French 2 remote and French 3 um, remote. So I decided to make this video in hopes that it would be helpful for you and perhaps a little more efficient than trying to meet online. Um, so I am really providing just the basics and overview of your child's class expectations and how things work. But I do encourage you to reach out with any questions or concerns, or if there's something that I didn't discuss in this video and you have a question about, please don't hesitate to send me an email. My email is there on the screen for you, kperkins@yorkschools.org. So, getting started, here's some information about what you can expect this year in your child's French class. We do not use textbooks. This is something we've been doing or not doing for several years now. We really try to use entirely authentic materials, whether it's reading or videos, um, listening excerpts. We try to use authentic materials from the real world. Your child will have both formative and summative assessments this year, and you will see these in PowerSchool. Formative assessments are quick check-ins, and we do quite a few of these. These may be an exit ticket at the end of class or at the end of an online remote lesson. It might be a quick listening check-in. It might be a quick paragraph that students are writing at the end of class using new vocabulary. Or I might ask them to make a quick video using some of the new vocabulary that they've learned. Formative assessments may not be redone. However, summative assessments, these are the end of unit assessments when students really show what they can do, what they've learned, and what they can do. These may be redone after appropriate remediation. So assignments are designed to really be real world tasks, things that students would do in the real world with the language. And assignments are linked to essential questions. I've given you a couple examples there, such as what is my ideal home, or how does food reflect a culture? And assignments are skill based. They are they reflect a specific skill from our weighted categories. Communication, that could be speaking, reading, writing, or listening. Communication-based assignments are weighted the most heavily. These are the most important. Comparisons could be language comparisons, which are really more the mechanics of the language, grammar, vocabulary. Communities is kind of more our in-class participation, how your child participates in our language community in class. Outside the classroom as well, but this year primarily within our language community classroom. So this is really where participation comes in. Connections, making connections to other content areas. This is, I think, one of the neat things about teaching a language, that we get to reinforce knowledge from other content areas, whether it's about art or architecture or food. We are able to teach students this content through the target language. So again, the communication assessments are based or are weighted the most. Those are the most important. The comparisons, communities, and connections are not weighted quite as much. So your child will be doing a lot of speaking this year, both interpersonal and presentational. When we are asynchronous, students will use Flipgrid quite a bit to make brief recordings. When we are in class, students will be speaking with me or with classmates. And when we are online, synchronous, students will be using breakout rooms to talk in small groups. Listening is very important as well. Something we call comprehensive input is really that has to come first when learning a language. So students are expected to be listening when they're in class, as well as asynchronously outside of class through Edpuzzle. That's something I'll talk a little bit more of in a minute. Reading, they'll be reading authentic materials such as articles, blogs, websites, menus. Reading practice and assessments will be with authentic materials. Writing will be done primarily in class if your student is learning in a hybrid model, um, online through Google Docs if your student is a distance learner. Practice will be done online through Google Docs for everyone as well. Cultural comparisons, again, these are the sort of investigation comparisons of different products, practices, and perspectives. What makes a culture unique? We will be exploring and reflecting on those things both in and outside of class. These are the themes of study. The units of study for each level, 1, 2, and 3. You can take a look at the different units and the themes for each unit. Feel free to pause the video to take a closer look. These are also posted in more detail on Google Classroom. Your student has a flyer for each of these units posted where you can take a look at the essential questions and the learning objectives for each of these units. Finally, actually, perhaps not finally, but these are some important policies that I wanted to go over as far as assignment deadlines, etc. When students are home, when they are on a remote day, their asynchronous assignments are posted by 8 a.m. every day, 7 a.m. if they are a block, a first or second block class. You should expect your child to spend from an hour to 75 minutes in length in terms of the amount of time they're spending on their remote asynchronous assignments. Assignments are due at 2:30 p.m. However, I am flexible. If for some reason your child needs an extension on an assignment deadline, they should communicate that to me, and I can be flexible. In-person days focus a lot on speaking. However, they rely quite a bit on the asynchronous work. So in other words, it's really important that your child is engaged and completing their asynchronous work on their home days so that they can fully participate in class on their in-person days. Now, if your child is a full distance learner, these policies are a little bit different. Asynchronous assignments will be posted by 8 a.m. every day if it's not a day when they're meeting with me in person. For French 2 remote students, they meet with me in person at 11:08 on Thursdays. And for French 3 distance students, they meet with me at 11:08 on Mondays. The opposite days, they have asynchronous work. In addition to their synchronous meet time with me, they have additional independent work to complete after their synchronous class. So that's for distance learners. Wednesday classes, and this is for everyone, whether you're hybrid or distance. Wednesday classes are synchronous online with Google Meets. We meet for about 30 minutes. And these classes will serve really as a review of material. Typically, we'll do a quick online game, such as a Kahoot or a Quizlet Live. We will also be using this time for breakout rooms to have small group or pair discussions. So that's what we'll do on Wednesdays. These are some of the onlining apps and tools that you will see your child using this year. Edpuzzle, we use quite a bit for online listening assessments, listening practice and assessments. Insert Learning is a great tool that we use for online reading practice, where we can embed questions into an article. Flipgrid, as mentioned before, for speaking. iSprock is speaking, but it's really a pronunciation tool. Your your child has not used this yet, I don't think, and not in my class, but it's something that we'll be exploring very soon. And Quizlet, Gimkit, Kahoot, these are all great tools for quick vocab, grammar practice and review. So these are some of the platforms and tools that we'll use this year in French. That's all that I'm going to go over with you tonight in this video. But again, I do encourage you to reach out with any questions or unanswered questions that you might have, or concerns that you have about your child this year. I'm excited that I've been able to connect with them already. We've had a good start to the year so far. I'm grateful for the in-person time that we've had for the hybrid learners. And I've been enjoying our online meets for distance learning, distance students so far this year. I think some of the key words this year, as you can see on my screen, are patience, flexibility, and having a growth mindset. And that's not just for the students, but for teachers and parents as well. So I look forward to a fantastic year, and have a great night. Please be in touch with any questions or concerns. Thank you.